Hello and welcome. I'm going to guide you through some simple poses to help you take care of your lower back. We're going to need today a chair and a couple of large towels. Our first pose will be with our legs resting up on the chair. So we want to try and get close to the chair so the back of the knees are close to the edge of the chair. And then we lie down on the floor. And then you just have to do a quick assessment. If your chin and your forehead are parallel, you're good. If the chin is up higher than your forehead, then we need to put one of the folded towels under your head, because we're trying to establish a neutral alignment in the neck. So if the chin's up high, please pop a towel under your head. So in this position here, legs are up on the chair, and you want to let go of any tension in the lower back, and you want to try and soften out the buttocks. And what we're doing here is we're inviting the head of the femur, the thigh bone, to sit back into the hip sockets. So we're trying to ground the femurs. And it's so therapeutic for your lower back. It takes all the weight out of the pelvis. It invites the lower back muscles to soften. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So just enjoy this position here, trying to ask the back of the pelvis to be heavy, inviting those thigh bones to sit down deep into the hip socket. And we're just going to stay here for a few more breaths. But on any given day, you can stay here for 5 to 10 minutes if you prefer. Now, to come out of this pose, we're just going to hug the knees towards the chest, and then we're going to roll to the side, and we're just going to bring ourselves up. Okay. Our next pose, we're going to stretch out the hip flexor, because the hip flexors are very, very important in the health of your lower back. So let's take both of the folded towels, and you're going to kneel upon them. And then you're going to take your right leg forward, and you're going to move the chair so it comes onto the inside of the leg. Making sure the front knee, the right knee's over the ankle. You can just pop your hands on the chair, relax your back foot, squeeze on your glutes, and press your back hip towards the chair. Watch that right knee for rolling out. Squeeze that leg in towards the chair and just lean back slightly. You should feel that stretch rise up your left thigh into your left hip. Shoulders are down the back body. And I'm just using the chair here just so that we don't have to try and balance, because then you've got movement, and we want to try and be still. So stretching your hip flexor every day is the best gift you can give to yourself for the health of your lower back and your knee alignment. Now let's change that over. Take your left leg forward now. You're in this what we call high lunge or proposal position. You want to have that left foot on the floor, the knees over the ankle, the chair's on the inside of the leg. I'm going to squeeze on the glutes. I'm going to press the back hip forward. I'm going to lean the torso slightly back, and I'm going to feel a fabulous stretch in the right hip and thigh. You do want to keep that slight squeeze. That activation of your glutes is going to help glide that hip slightly forward so that you can feel that good psoas stretch. Hip flexor, psoas major, really important muscle group. And now release. Now we're going to do it again, but a different variation, because hip flexor stretches are so important. Now we're going to take the right leg forward, but this time I'm going to increase the stride. So instead of being in proposal, I'm going to increase the stride, and that changes the angle now on the back knee. I'm going to bring the chair in again, only this time I'm going to try and pop the elbows on the chair, and I'm going to invite that back hip and thigh to hang. And it's so lovely and so good for you, and something you should do every single day. Press down into your front foot so you keep that stable. Relax your back toes, back hip. Fantastic. And then release, push into your front foot, bring yourself up, and let's change sides. So, left leg, so it's a longer stride now. It will change the angle on the back knee. And I'll drop those elbows onto the chair. And if the elbows on the chair is too much, then maybe you've got your hands on the chair. That's okay. The trick to effective stretching is that you don't go to 100%. There should be no big push. You can save that for your workouts. When you get to stretching, you have to be intelligent. You have to listen to the signals from the body, and you've got to invite a sense of softness so you can get a sense of length. So please don't push hard. Don't be 100%. You want to feel about 80%. Good. And then push down into that front heel and bring yourself all the way up. Good. I'm just going to move the chair out of the way. And now I'm going to do a supported back extension. I'm going to use these towels. At the moment, they're folded into a rectangle. I'm going to fold them on themselves again, so I get a narrow but quite thick support. And I'm going to do the same with the other one. And then I'm going to pop it on top. So now I've got quite a height. It's going to feel fabulous. So supported extension. What I'm going to do here is lie on top, so the bottom of my rib is on the edge of the towel. So my bottom rib on the edge of the towel, my arms are over the front of it, my legs are relaxed, my hips on the floor. Now, if you're nursing any current back issues, you might choose to start with just one towel instead of two. As you move into this position, your abdomen, your belly, that shouldn't be touching anything. So you want just the ribs, the bottom of the sternum, the breastbone, on the edge of the towel, the front of the hips on the floor. And the more height you have here, the less work I have to do in the elbows and the upper body to support myself. It's so good for you. So good for you. What you might be feeling is a paraspinal release. So you might be noticing some tingling sensations across your lower back. Try and relax the front of your hips. And you might be feeling resistance here, as we tend to be very stiff in the lower back. And when you think about life, everything we do is kind of folded and bent over. Driving, cooking, cleaning, computers, picking up babies, golf. we always have this kind of rounded upper back posture. So if you think that the body is in that position for multiple hours every week, for some people just to stand up straight is a lot of work. When we move into this position, which is a little bit of extension, oh, it's so therapeutic for the discs of the spine. But in the beginning, it can feel very alien to people. But I recommend this to be done on a daily basis to counter all that sitting down and bending over, so you can help the mobility of the spine and help to balance the discs of the spine. Let go of the front of the hips. And then tuck your toes under. Push on your hands, bring yourself up. You might feel a little bit stiff in the lower back. That's okay, that's completely normal. Our finished pose, take one towel. It's just going to be for your head. Take the other towel and lie on your back. And it's okay if that lower back still feels stiff, as we're breaking down scar tissue and improving fascia health. Now in this position, the head's on the towel so that we can maintain this neutral. I'm going to take the other towel and I'm going to place it in between the knees, and I'm going to give it a quick squeeze. So when I squeeze it, I've got some support now from the inner thighs. Arms go out like a letter T. Squeeze on the towel, and I'm going to drop the knees to the right-hand side. Then I can relax. I don't have to grip the towel anymore, but I'm trying to keep the shoulders and the arms down. And then I rest here in this rotation. And some of you might have your knees much further away. Some of you might have your knees higher up. You need to find a place where you can let those legs soften. Enjoying that fabulous rotation around the lower back. So the key to your lower back health all comes from your hips. If you can keep your hips mobile, there is less pressure on the lower back every day. If your hips don't move, then the movement's going to come in the lower back instead. Squeeze the knees together, bring this up, and go all the way to the other side. So just that daily stretch of your hip flexors will have a positive impact on your lower back. If you can do this outer hip release and this lower back stretch, this is therapeutic. And of course, if you could do that fabulous supported extension, that's really good for your posture. Now squeeze on the towel. Bring the knees back up to the center, feet on the floor. Roll to the side to come on up. And that concludes our short program for back care and stretch.